This is the Zone 1 podcast for a premium travel experience. The Zone 1 podcast brings you incredible travel opportunities and excursions through networktravel.ca. The Zone 1 podcast features the legendary Jackie Ray Greening, Rick McSwain from Network Travel, and I'm your host, Terry Evans. All right, we got a full house today for the Zone 1 podcast with networktravel.ca. It's like Hollywood Squares all over again. We've got Jackie Ray Greening, Rick McSwain from Network Travel, and from CFCW, the mighty juggernaut that is country music in Alberta. 840 CFCW's Dan Davidson is also with us.
Yay, Dan! Hey, guys.
Yay, Dan! The reason that Dan is here today is because it's Japan with Dan in 2027.
It brands itself, right?
It sure does.
Have you ever been to Japan, Dan? That sounds really weird.
I have. I've been to Japan. I went there. I shot a music video there back in, I guess it was like 10 years ago now. And the video had nothing to do with, like, the song had nothing to do with Japan. It was just, we wanted to do something that was completely different than anything a Canadian country artist has done. So we dressed me up like halfway between John Wayne and Elton John, head to toe, white rhinestone cowboy, plopped me in the middle of Tokyo, and we just watched how weird people thought I was. And it was amazing. You know, it was such a whirlwind trip. I was only in Tokyo, and I was only there for about 3-4 days tops. So I didn't get to see very much except for the inside of this costume that I was in the entire time.
What was the music video?
That was for the song Barn Burner.
Okay.
Yeah. But
go check it out.
Yeah, exactly. In my quick trip there, I got to say, my brief experience, it was just like mind-blowing how respectful and clean and quiet even the busiest parts of this like massive behemoth city were. It was awesome. So much cool stuff there.
I guess it would be unusual that all four of us on this podcast have been to Japan, because I've only been to the Tokyo airport.
Counts.
But it's technically Japan. You're exactly right.
I actually flew into Tokyo, and then the bus picked us up. We were curling in Kirazawa, which was the site of the Nagano curling venue. So we got to go curl there, and I just loved it. Loved the people, loved the food. Oh, so good.
Yeah, food was
awesome. Place.
Street food I found was just like incredible. Like I stumbled across some weird little night market one night, and it was just completely by chance, but it was just the street was lit up with thousands of these lanterns and just amazing food and a little taste of culture there. It was a bit of a whirlwind.
Yeah, I think the lights are on 24/7 there. Like the place is just there's I think 14 million people in Tokyo alone. 37 million in the greater Tokyo area. It is just massive in people.
You know what the thing that was shocking to me is that in that huge city, getting around, like we took the train everywhere, and I didn't get lost once. Like they like I get lost in English speaking subways, but there with the pictures and the colors, I made it. So even guys like me can get around somehow.
This trip you're going on though is different because it's a cruise, right?
Yeah. I've never really been on a proper cruise, but I think maybe when I was a teenager. But it's been an undisclosed amount of years since that happened. And what's cool about this trip, Rick, that when you showed me the itinerary, I haven't even heard of some of these cities. So that's my favorite part of touring as a musician is you end up in places that you wouldn't always just go to on your own. You know, even in Canada, you just find your way through these interesting spots. So having somebody that knows where these cool places are, that's a bit of a leg up for me.
All right. So, Rick, let's talk about the trip that's coming. It's Travel with Dan Davidson, March 6th to the 17th, 2027. So just under a year from now, 11 days. It's a Japan cruise, the Japan in Bloom cruise 2027. Why Japan? Why now?
Well, Japan is like, I think we're all in agreement, and especially on the travel side, Japan is insanely popular right now. So I was there this time last year, and when we put this together, I went to Dan and Jen, and I said, hey, would you guys be interested in doing this? Because last year I went and we were in a motor coach. and it is so busy. I mean, and so organized. But you're unpacking every night or every 2 nights as you move around the country. And we did the high-speed train and that type of thing. But holy cow, like it's really, really, really busy in a coach. So then I said, well, this came up with the Sapphire Princess Cruise Lines, which is beautiful. And I think it's going to offer something different because we circle the country, and then including South Korea. So I think you unpack once, and you're out there, and you can still sample and enjoy the food and the cities that we're going to visit, but you only unpack once, and I think that's going to be the key part of it.
Jackie Ray, you've been there. You find Japan safe, clean, culturally rich? Is it just like most Canadians do?
All of the above, and what Dan is so respectful as a people. It is. I love. Well, of course, I love sushi, but I also love how they do the barbecue is so good. It is, and I think with this cruise line, we really hope you'll be able to get in and check out places you ordinarily wouldn't go to. But then I also see South Korea is on it, which I've been there. I've actually been there a few times because I worked the Winter Olympics there. So it was South Korea I love too.
Were you in Busan, Jackie Ray?
No, we didn't. One of the announcers I worked with, though, she worked for a radio TV station in Busan. So it looked like a beautiful area.
Yeah, I heard it's amazing. I haven't been to South Korea, so I'm excited.
Rick, you touched on the unpack once, the aspect of the cruise instead of going from hotel to hotel on a motor coach, and the cruise removing all of the friction. What about a language? Actually, you know what? Before I get to your answer about the language barrier, since Dan, you said that there are some places that you've never heard of, it's time to do Japan with Dan. See if Dan can say the Japanese words.
I'll save you the trouble. No, he can't.
He's going to.
I was going to say this was not rehearsed, Dan. Jeez,
you know what? Let's do it.
Okay,
I'm in.
Do you have the map in front of you? Because
no,
if
I don't.
Oh well, how is that going to happen?
I thought I wasn't supposed to. I wasn't supposed to know the answers.
Well,
okay.
There's Matsuyama, Nagasaki, Kochi, Kagoshima, Kobe, Toba, and Tokyo, and Busan, of course, from Korea that we already. You've taken all the fun out of that.
See, you can practice that. Nice show prep. Way to be prepared, Dan. Way to have that trip right in front of you.
What was I supposed to do there? Was I supposed to spell something or point it out on a map, or
just pronunciation? I thought would be handy since you were there wearing your underwear and rhinestones on your previous visit.
Actually, it's a great video, Dan. I got to give you that. That's a great video. People got to go watch it for sure. Cool.
Thanks. You know, we were spending most of our time in Shinjuku. So I'm there. This is my first pronunciation.
Look at that.
Yeah. Thank you. And we were in Harajuku and Shibuya. And Shibuya Crossing was one of those places that is burned in my memory forever. It was 5,000 people crossing the street at the same time, every light change. So it's nothing like I've ever seen before in Canada. This is a funny story, actually. We were there and we're filming, right? We're trying to get the best angles. And some Canadian guy we met comes up to us and he's like, "Hey, guys, what are you doing?" We're like, "Oh, we're just shooting a video." Because he sees me and in his head, he's like, "Oh, your friend's dressed like an idiot here." And I'm like, "Yeah, I am." So he's like, "Hey, you guys want to come up to my hotel and get a good vantage point? It's right there." And, you know, listen, we were 3 guys in our late mid-30s, so it was still unsafe, but you know, we did it anyway. We went up there and we got this awesome vantage point there, and it was just like, it's crazy. I thought when I went to Japan, I would have, I was really nervous to go with how many people I've seen and just knowing how big Tokyo is. But when I left after being in Tokyo for a few days, I was like, this is awesome. I could live here in another life. It's amazing.
And I guess since we're sitting here with on a podcast with a couple of country music radio personalities, we should make sure that there's no confusion between Shibuya and Shibuya. One is the bar song, one is a town in Japan.
Definitely no similarities. Zero. Stops right there.
So, Rick, the language barrier in Japan, what have you had to deal with in the past? Is there going to be some challenges or what?
We didn't really, honestly, we had a guide with us that spoke English, and we'll have the same when we're going out on tours when we go on this as well, because we'll be doing tours every day that we're on land, obviously. But we never had any issues with people in terms of communicating with us and things anywhere we went, honestly. So Saburi, is that Saburi?
Should be quizzing Rick on these pronunciations, not
It's
me.
Shabuzi. It's Shabuzi, man.
I swear to God, I'm the worst for pronouncing stuff like this. And anyways, but I agree, it was like absolutely insane. I've never seen so many humans crossing the street at the same time in my entire life. I mean, it was funny because when I was there, I was just there a year ago, and I'm looking at the itinerary that we got on my right. That's why I'm keep looking over here. But when we were there, it was funny because there was some influencer guy, and nobody in our group had a clue who he was, but it was so funny.
I get that all the time, Rick.
Yeah. Was he dressed in a really ugly rhinestone outfit?
Yeah, and he had a red hat. Maybe that was you, Dan. It was really funny because people were in our group were kind of looking around saying, this guy is just acting really crazy. But I started to think, you know what? I swear to God, all you'd have to do is something really crazy and you'd have a bunch of people standing around cheering you on, because that's exactly what happened. And I don't think anyone knew who the guy was. He just started doing something. And suddenly, because there's so many people, everyone's interested to see what the hell's going on.
What's going on? But with this cruise, you're not so much in the throes of the people, right? What would a typical day look like? Yeah, this cruise ship pulls up to port in Shabuzi. And then what happens?
Well, and then obviously we're going to have tours and that type of thing, so you can get off and do a morning tour, afternoon tour, or a day tour, whatever happens wherever we are. But we'll have all of those options for everyone before we go, and everyone can pre-book. But what's really neat about the tours is we've got a link on our website. It's called Via Tours, and you can go in now because they just developed these tours for cruises, and you can book directly with this company, and they've coordinated this with cruise lines, so you're not paying the exorbitant amount for day tours that you would normally pay on the cruise ship. So Princess is not on here, so I can just talk about this. But seriously, like sometimes you go out and you see a tour or something, and really you have a guide that it's a walking tour or something, and you're paying like $80 or $90 or $100. And in fact, you can probably get it for $30. So we're going to make everyone aware of that. There's all kinds of really, food tours and city walking tours. And of course, there's other tours that you can take transportation, that type of thing. Lots of temples.
Networktravel.ca for a premium travel experience. Visit the website today to find out more about these amazing travel adventures. The East Africa Safari in 2027, Antarctica in 2027, Vietnam and Cambodia this fall, Machu Picchu and the Amazon this summer. Also this summer, 2 separate vacation opportunities with private yachts in Croatia. All this and so much more. See them all at networktravel.ca. I was just going to say lots of temples, and then there's the different cities that you're going to, the different ports. Plus, it's the whole name of the cruise is the JapaninBloom cruise. So you've got the blossoms that come out, and it's not an exact science when it comes to when the blossoms bloom, but there's a very good chance over the course of the 11 days that you're there, you might be able to see that.
The bloom thing, I think, we got to, because there's no guarantees. It's like, it depends. In the South, we're going to be there early season. So in the South, it's warmer. So we're hoping that we're going to catch the early blooming down South. The thing is with this blooms, the cherry blossom blooming season, it's all subject to weather and early season, late season. The other thing that I think we got to, just let people know about as well is it really only happens for a few days. It's kind of peaks. And then if you get a strong wind, we were there last year and we caught it, and they said like it was really early for us last year, and we still caught it right in the mix of everything in Tokyo. Then that night we got a bit of wind and it rained, and everything was on the ground. Blooming season was over.
So this is where a travel agent covers his butt. You don't mention the blooms in Japan. You just in case they're not there.
That's
He's
what
like,
I'm saying.
yeah, the blooms are good, but have I talked about the temples?
Just forget about the blooms.
Yeah. We mentioned Jackie Ray and of course Dan Davidson being from 840 CFCW, the radio hosts, but there's also the country music superstar Dan Davidson aspect of this. So I guess Dan, pointing some questions at you, what made you say, aside from the fact maybe that you've been to Japan 10 years ago, but what made you say, yeah, I want to do this trip and I want to go on an 11-day cruise with a bunch of people to Japan and see it from a different angle if you're looking at it from the water and that sort of thing?
Well, I told Rick that I would do it, but only under any circumstance. So, yeah, it's the kind of, after being in Nashville with Rick and also Seattle, like you start to see that the group of people that there's some familiar faces that come on these network travel trips, and they're all just so awesome, and it's just such like an easy hang. So like the Nashville trip, for example, was just so casual, and everybody was just kind of a bit of a squad mentality, and it was just a lot of fun. Like having that experience with people is part of the fun, because there's just more opinions coming at you, and more people experiencing things for the first time creates that excitement. And that's something that I love. But on the music side of things, I was telling Rick when we went out for lunch the other day, I was like, we need to find a hilarious tiny little karaoke bar one day and just have a night. And I'll flex whatever vocal muscles I can muster.
And in Japan, they love their karaoke. Love, 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 love.
Yeah, they love their karaoke. Dan, you're going to bring the guitar?
Yeah, I think I will. I don't know which guitar yet. But one that flies well.
Bring the cheap one. Yeah.
Bring the cheap one, yeah.
But no, it was a lot of, like last time, it was so much fun to be able to have a moment with the crew, like the guests that came out and play some songs. And I'm pretty seasoned after doing all these acoustic heartstrings and honky tonks gigs this year, so I'm ready. That's part of the fun.
There's nothing more exciting than, and I remember a network travel trip that we did down to Mexico, and David Gogo came along and he was performing for us in the resort, and if people are on the cruise ship and all of a sudden there's an opportunity or a planned opportunity to have a performance by someone who's on the radio, I mean, it's a big thrill for people to be holidaying and seeing an amazing part of the world, and then having bonus live musical performances for a select group of people. It makes you feel really special.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the impression we were getting from people when even, in Nashville, where country music is going to be everywhere anyway, it was still special for those people. And it's a real chance to get to connect with some fans too. On top of that, I know we're kind of not in that mode when we're on vacation, but for me, it's a lot of fun to do. So I'm looking forward to that.
I know, you could busk. Pay for your beers.
All right, I'll have to get a live translator. Like just hey Alexa, translate, and I just start playing.
I would love to see the reaction on the corner of the street, and it's just, with you playing the guitar. I'd love to see what the reaction is. I think you'd make a fortune, Dan.
I'd make tens of thousands of yen.
Cents.
Yeah. That's $47. Yeah,
that Sapporo beer ain't going to pay for itself.
That's right.
So Rick, this trip, it's Japan in Bloom. It's a cruise. It's looking at Japan from the water rather than hotels and tour buses, like you said before. It's probably a unique experience. Is this something for couples? Is it for singles? Is it for Asia travel fanatics? Is it for first timers? What's the scoop?
A lot of people, first timers going to Asia, they'd love to start probably in Japan. I think this is going to be perfect for those people that have never been to Asia. The other thing too is some people are worried because they're overwhelmed by the amount of people. And in Japan, even though it's so busy, after, like Dan said, after the first day, you don't feel overwhelmed anymore because they're so bloody organized. I mean, even getting their trains are right on the minute. That's how organized they are. So I think to answer your question, I think this is kind of good for, it's good for couples. We've got a lot of people booked already, believe it or not. And today has been really busy because we sent this out to our database last night. And we've got several singles already booked. We've got couples. We've got some seniors. We got some younger couples. So it's just a wide range of everyone.
Shabuzi, he's booked.
Jacuzzi, yep.
Yeah,
Jacuzzi.
Shabuzi's booked.
So I honestly, I think it's going to be really good for no matter what age group you're in, honestly. Princess Cruise Line, so it's not for an older demographic, and it's not like Carnival, which is more honed toward a younger demographic. It's right in the sweet spot. I mean, they've got a really good product, excellent food, excellent accommodations, lots of entertainment. The ship, it's a Sapphire Princess, so it's about 2,600 guests. It's not massive. It's not like the 7,000 people that sometimes these bigger ships have. So I think it's just a good size for everyone to move around. And we're going to see, either we'll have to get Dan a super suite so he can entertain, or we'll just take over a lounge, Dan.
Everybody come to my room.
Yeah, the wife would love that.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
Well, why don't you can do a John and Yoko bed in for peace.
For pizza. Yeah.
Yeah.
Over for sushi. Yeah.
Reluctantly.
Hi, this is Terry Evans, hoping you'll join me for the Reluctantly Podcast. ReluctantlyPodcast.com, with guests like Tom Cochran, Brian Johnson from AC/DC, Brian Baumler, and Kevin Lowe, formerly with the Edmonton Oilers. Also Darby Mills, Lee Aaron, Haley Benedict, and more. ReluctantlyPodcast.com.
Reluctantly.
Okay, well, since you mentioned it, what about Jackie Ray? You referenced it earlier too, and Dan, you even mentioned the street food. The food, is it different on the ship? A little more Americanized or North Americanized on the ship compared to what you might experience in Matsuyama or Kobe or Kochi or something like that?
Well, what they've done is they've honed it a little bit more based on their destination, because the ship's in rotation in this destination. So there'd be lots of obviously Japanese cuisine. Again, I mean, there's something for everyone. So people that are not necessarily interested in just Japanese food, there'll be quite a variety for everyone. But I think the fun part of this is not on the ship necessarily for food, but when you come into a port, you get off, you explore, you get out there, and it's so safe in Japan. You get off and you explore some of the street venues and that type of thing. Places that you would eat that you normally wouldn't eat if you were in Mexico, maybe, or Dominican, or, different parts of the world. You don't eat street food typically. But I'll tell you a really cool story. When we were there, we were at a hotel, and they had like a buffet breakfast. And so and it was super busy. So I go, okay, you stay here, hold the table, and I'm going to go first. And we had a few people and whatever. And I noticed something that I've never seen anywhere nowhere in the world. People were putting their phones on the table to save their phones.
Yeah, I don't think we'd be doing that here.
I'll just put my passport, my social insurance number, and a list of my fears on the table.
I've never seen where you put your purse or your phone or something of value on your chair or on the table, so that people don't take they don't steal your seat. They could steal your phone, right?
I have all my passwords on this little pad of paper. That's how I keep my seat at the resort.
I'm good. Now that you've held it up to the screen, that's excellent.
Green screen, yeah.
Analog security system right there.
Did you have for breakfast though? When I was in Japan, I said I really want a traditional Japanese breakfast. And you know what that is? It's just a little bowl of rice, you crack a raw egg into it, a little soya sauce, and then you just eat away.
Yeah.
It's actually not that bad.
Yeah. Have you had that, Dan?
Haven't had that. No. I have had a lot of like rice and eggs and stuff for breakfast, but not just like cracking an egg on hot rice and going for it.
Yeah, just a raw egg. And,
Well, a couple of times it happened to me because I asked for soy sauce and wasabi, because that's what we have here. And she said, oh, no, soy sauce, too much sodium.
She's right.
Just bring it.
Yeah, she's not wrong.
You know what? The best sushi I had when we were there is I can't remember where we were. We were close to the fish market, so I was like, "This is probably a logical place to stop for sushi." And we went in, and they had that kind of sushi. I don't know what they call it in Canada, but they kind of take a blowtorch to it or something, and they kind of like give it a little crisp. And it was spicy tuna, and it was probably the best thing I've ever eaten in my entire life. Nice cold Sapporo, whatever this thing was. Perfect.
Hey, we're going to go on a hunt to find that down.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. We covered Tokyo pretty good, actually. We hit the train around a little bit. I even went to Tokyo Disney for a day. It was like they took Disneyland and they made
Did you wear the rhinestone suit?
Yeah, I had to. It was part of the show.
Yeah. Okay, you got to bring the suit too, Dan.
Oh, jeez.
I'm sure you're going to run into markets and that sort of thing, and there's also going to be other significant things that you will see, from temples to cultural spots. I know in Nagasaki they have is it the Peace Temple or what is it?
Nagasaki was the city that got hit after Hiroshima. That they got hit with the the Peace Memorial there. Yeah.
Oh, Peace Memorial. That's what it is. Yeah. So there's a bunch of stuff, a cultural etiquette that you're going to probably have to take into concern, little surprises and respect and order. And I mean, that goes back to leaving your cell phone on the table to save your spot.
I forgot to mention, you have to go to 7-Eleven and get the egg salad sandwich.
Okay. No, they're raving about it here. I tried one. They're horrible.
Maybe we
don't have the right bread.
We gold here.
If you do that in Canada, that's how you get hepatitis. In Japan, it's perfect. But
this is a perfect segue into the inoculations. You got to get shots. No, I'm just kidding. You don't.
I was going to say, do you really?
Oh, Rick's giving them out of his garage. It's really above board.
No, Japan's super clean. No, it's great. I had the egg salad sandwiches there. Well, we were drinking rum with them, so they were pretty good.
Hey, Rick, did you notice that when you go into a 7-Eleven in Japan, like they accost you with welcome greetings? Like you go in there and everyone, I can't remember what they say, but there's like 4 or 5 people just shouting, "Hello, welcome" at you. Yeah. And
it's so
to get you to look up at the security camera because you're not trustworthy looking.
Yeah.
We had someone in our group, they went into the 7-Eleven and they were just so loud because they were, I don't know what, they were just excited. And this lady said something to them in Japanese. And it was funny because our tour guide was with this couple that were in there, and they came out and they were like, apparently they swore at them in Japanese, saying, you stupid, rude North Americans are too loud.
Oops.
Whoops. This is how we learn.
Yeah.
So going quietly.
Yeah. You know what I noticed actually was kind of crazy is when you leave the 7-Eleven and you got food or drinks or whatever, nobody really, you don't eat on the move there. Everybody kind of like stops, they finish, they find a place for their garbage, and then they go out into the world. Nobody eats on the train.
You have to take your garbage home, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
If you'll notice, there's no garbage cans around.
Garbage cans.
Yeah. So you have to take it back.
So Jackie Ray, Terry, you only went to the airport, but Jackie Ray and
my name's Dan, Rick.
Dan. We'll edit that out. Sorry.
We've only been on 2 trips together now.
Anyways,
my name's on the brochure, Rick.
One sec. Okay, so now I forgot what I was going to say, but did you go, when you were there, did you guys go, Dan, never mind. Dan, did you go to Nara?
No, I don't think so.
Where the deer are
Doesn't ring a bell.
So
No.
They give you pellets to feed these deer, or little wafer things, and you can feed these deer. And what they do is they bow. They bow when you give them food. Well, hold the food up, and then the deer will actually bow in front of you.
They're more polite than my children.
It's true. I got a video.
Oh, don't invite me over to your place. Don't see it.
You can get your shot while you're there. He does it out of his garage.
And that is part of the bonus social experience that you're going to have with Rick and Dan hosting the trip.
With Rick and what's his name? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Dan.
I just give you a hard time.
I was looking at Jackie Ray, and she's all red, and it looks like she was drinking last night.
Yeah. Oh, water.
Hey, she's retired. She can do what she wants.
Yeah.
I'm having a hot flash.
This trip and so many others to look at networktravel.ca. It's right at the top of the page almost after the African safaris. It's JapaninBloom2027. Flights, transfers, guidance, no guesswork. Network Travel has done this trip before, so you're going to be in good hands when you get over there. Plus the added bonus of being accompanied by Dan Davidson, what's his name, and explained from Network Travel.
Dan, I just went blank on something.
I'm just kidding you, Rick. Yeah, the added discomfort of having Canadian B-level country singer Dan Davidson at your side.
No, it's not that. I was staring at Jackie Ray. Then I was like,
I'm just giving you a
blame
hard
me.
Anyways, this is a good segue, actually. I won't forget.
Networktravel.ca.
No, actually, it's a good segue because
no, we're not done. I thought we were done. Okay.
Oh,
no,
that was that was done.
Because,
that's done.
No, we're not done yet. So the next podcast we're going to be talking about our trip to Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And I just put on the website.
Of course you did.
So Jackie Ray, and me, and just kidding, Terry.
I was like, me again? I didn't know about this. Yeah,
you're coming. Anyways, we'll talk about that next week.
This has been the Zone 1 podcast for a premium travel experience. Rick McSwain from networktravel.ca, Jackie Ray Greening. I'm Terry Evans. The Zone 1 podcast is part of the Reluctantly Podcast Network.